Noah.
Say it again.
Uncle Noah.
Ask Sultana what the baby's name is. What's your baby name, Sultana?
Uncle Noah.
You like that name? You like that name? Is it a beautiful name? Yeah, you like that beautiful name?
Spooky. Tell me again. Try again.
You can't? Why? You like talking to Sultana and Nathaniel? Yeah?
Because Sultana is picking her nose. She's very busy.
I'm picking my nose. I'm very busy. I my nose.
Ronaldo also picks his nose.
It's a big honor that it's really an amazing merit that we are there's 6 grandchildren that are married, that we are the first ones to be able to have the first child and really be able to name the child so close to that passing. It's a very interesting thing because Benno passed away so recently, and the baby is being born right after. And at the funeral we talked about the amazing person that Opa was and how amazing he was, and this Brit, this birth sort of represents Chaim, life, and the transition from Misa to Chaim, from life to death, from death to life. So it's really quite a merit to have the first child born after Benno's passing, and he is the exact same name as Benno, no one else. Now I want to just talk about 2 traits. Benno was a wonderful man, and I want to talk about a few things that Benno embodied that my hope that our little Benjamin embodies as well. And when you look back at Opa's life, one of his defining traits was his yashrus, his straightness. He always knew what was right from wrong, and he always did what was right. He wasn't the most learned man. He never had a formal Jewish education. But when he was in Okinawa, in the fires of Okinawa, and they offered him non-kosher meat, even though he was putting his health at risk, and putting your health at risk in a war zone is putting your life at risk, despite that, he did not eat the non-kosher meat. When his platoon mates were anti-Semitic, and they called him little Jew boy fighting the battles, he knew that in that situation he needed to be brave. He needed to stand up in the face of anti-Semitism. He needed to be a brave Jew. And so he won the Bronze Star, he won the Silver Star. He did what was right. Growing up, money did not grow on trees in the Levy household. Or maybe it did, my mom was laughing. He made the very difficult sacrifice to send his kids to have a Jewish education. Why? Because he knew it was right. He knew that he wanted his kids to be able to learn, be able to be Orthodox, be able to, grow up as Jews in a very modern world. So he sent them to Jewish schools. He knew it was right, and he wanted to give them the education that he never had. In the last years of his life, he took that's sort of how he was yashar. And the other trait that I want to talk about is how he was such a Baal Chesed. He was so kind and warm and caring to other people. Whenever you needed something from if I was abandoned on the road, if I needed a ride to the airport, anything. I talked about the funeral that just a few days before Benno passed, he picked me up on the side of the highway because I was abandoned there. So, literally 3 days before. So if you ever needed anything, he was there for you. And then he also just really an amazing merit that we are like, there's 6 grandchildren that are married, that we are the first ones to be able to have the first child and really be able to name the child so close to that passing. And it's a very interesting thing because Benno passed away so recently, and the baby is being born right after. And at the funeral we talked about the amazing person that Opa was and how amazing he was. And this Brit, this birth sort of represents, Chaim, life, and the transition from Misa to Chaim, from life to death, from death to life. So it's really quite a merit to have the first child born after Opa Benno's passing, and he is the exact same name as Opa Benno, no one else. Now I want to just talk about 2 traits. Opa Benno was a wonderful man, and I want to talk about a few things that Opa Benno embodied that
to the Weinbergs and to the Schaefers and the extended family on the birth of Benjamin. It's interesting, you're naming Josh the baby after your grandfather. And it's also in 6 parsha, it's the parsha of Benjamin. The baby Benjamin is born in this week's parsha, so it's unbelievable. No coincidence in life. We for many years we had a member in our shul, Reverend and Mrs. Barris. They should be well. They now live in the Washington area. So Josh, Reverend Barris, always had a word about the name Benjamin. Now we know that Benjamin was born, so Rachel, who died in the process of giving birth to Benjamin, she doesn't name him Benjamin, she named him Benoni, the son of my affliction, and it's Yaakov who gives the name Benjamin. So Reverend Barris asked the question, this is the type of name the mother gives a child? That's why she should name the baby Benoni. So he said, it's not what's going on there. What was happening is that she was dying, and the affliction was that who was going to take care of this child? Who was going to raise this child? Who was going to be there for the child? And then she gives the name and she passes away. Yaakov, her husband, and the father says, no, Binyamin, he will be on my right side. That I will be there, I will now take the responsibility, I will assume the responsibility to making sure that this child is raised properly, and that everything that his mother, Ethel, would want to be for this child, I will now guarantee that will occur. So I was just thinking, Josh and Julia, on the one hand, emotions, it was a very difficult time, and the last few months, without your grandfather and your moms and all your aunts and uncles, it's been a lot of affliction. It's been very hard, and your grandfather was really the patriarch of the family in so many ways you described, and so many others. But now, on some level, with the birth of Benjamin, so although your grandfather is not here to raise and continue to mentor and to guide the family, but his lessons and his values clearly are still felt and are still very strong. And that now you, Josh and Julia, you will now assume that responsibility. Benjamin, your son, you will now assume the role of Benno, of your grandfather, and to continue to teach and to guide Benjamin and guide all your children with those values. And God willing, you'll see within him and with all the children, all the cousins, that they will have those values, and they will be raised to know who the great patriarch of the family was, and they'll continue to be a shining example for everything that the extended Levy family represents. So wish you a mazel tov and much nachas with the new addition. Thanks very much. We'll mention this in a few moments.